Just two dudes having a conversation. You're my friend and I trust you.
We're
Nice.
back.
We're back. We're back in business.
Back in the business.
I'm so excited to be here right now in this moment because I haven't seen you in like 2 weeks.
Has it been 2 weeks?
I don't know. It feels like a year though. Whatever.
Probably
it's
was the
been.
last time we recorded the podcast.
Yeah.
I think.
That was like 2 weeks ago, I think.
Yeah. We took July 4th weekend off.
Yep. Our schedules did not align.
No, they did not.
So to be fair though, I really didn't try very hard. I was like, hey, does this date work for
Yeah.
you? You said no. And I was like, oh, well,
Yeah. It was kind of like,
we'll just skip it this week.
yeah, every now and then. I mean, it's holiday weekend.
Right.
I didn't work. My last day of work was Wednesday. And so,
Oh, nice.
yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah. Which makes this week super long.
Yeah.
It's like, man.
That's the thing about long weekends is getting back into it.
yeah.
Like a 2-week vacation, I couldn't even imagine coming back from that. Or like how the Europeans do it with like a month-long vacation. That'd be so hard.
holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also realized I like having some sort of routine.
Mhm.
Like I like breaking the routine.
Sure.
But if I go too long not in some sort of routine,
hmm
I start not doing well.
Right.
Both me and my wife are that way.
Mm.
So come like Sunday night last week, we're like, don't really want to go to work, but we're kind of looking forward to
Yeah.
just kind of being back to normal.
Getting back into the swing of things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shoot. Oh, Emily is applying to a job that's actually around here.
Oh, really?
It's not exactly what she wants to be doing. How did this table get so sticky? It's not exactly what she wants to be doing, and it doesn't pay great. But one, it's around here,
Mhm.
and two, she gets like 2 weeks vacation,
Nice.
like right off the bat, which is
Nice.
great. And we've been talking about like when we're married, how we want to spend our vacations. And she said if she got 2 weeks, she would love to do the week of camp. She just did a different camp, not Round Lake,
Mhm.
but she really loved that and would like to do that again if possible. And then we like the idea of like long weekends kind of
Mhm.
dispersed throughout the year instead of taking like this is our vacation week for the year.
Yeah.
Because I like breaking up the year like that,
Mm.
you know? Like, oh, I have this long weekend to look forward to in a month
Right.
or in 2 months versus like, well, I just got back from my once a year vacation and now I have a whole year till I have a vacation again.
Yeah. That's kind of like what we do.
Mm-hmm.
Usually we'll do like a week long one and then use the remaining time on weekends.
Yeah.
Which both of us, like Allie's been in our job for a while. So like, we have decent amount of vacation. And so it kind of works that way. Like this year I switched jobs. So starting next year is when I'll really get my vacation. I have a few days this year, but we're going to the Outer Banks in September.
Nice.
But what's kind of nice about this year, though, is we've never had weekends before. And so for us, every weekend feels like a long weekend right now
Right.
because like we can go do stuff. Like this weekend, we're going camping down Mohican.
Nice.
Just like stuff that we've never gotten to do before.
Yeah.
And it's just a normal weekend.
Yeah.
So,
I'm so happy for you.
yeah, appreciate it.
Just in life, I'm so happy for you.
Yeah.
Because I definitely noticed it today coming into the house.
Yeah.
Like you have this air about you, this stress-free air.
I am significantly less stressed.
I'm super happy for you.
Like even leading once-ish a month right now, like at the church, like, I don't know, I get to just focus on what I like doing,
Right.
which is leading worship.
Right.
Like they're having their VBS this week.
You're not a part of it.
Not a part of it at all. Like, and I love it.
Emily is a part of it. She's helping
Oh,
out.
is she?
Yeah. She's actually going tonight to do that. She's at my house right now, hanging out with my sister and my nieces and nephews. My sister and my nieces and nephews are in town for a little vacation. We just got back from PA. Emily and I drove out there Friday night. It's like a 6.5 hour drive. So we drove out there Friday night, Sunday night we drove out there. And then Monday morning we came back.
Right.
So that was not a bad drive because you get on the Pennsylvania Turnpike and it's just, but where was I going with that? Oh, Emily is doing Mega Camp, or VBS. I do not have to, but her mom, actually last Sunday in the green room, her mom poked her head in and was like, Emily and Donnie, I have a question for you. It's about Mega Camp. And I'm like, no. And all she wanted from me was to borrow my cajon.
Oh,
that's
nice.
it. So I was like, yes.
Sure. Have it.
You can have anything of mine that you want as long as it's not me personally.
Would you
Mega Camp?
So Donnie built his own snare drum, which sounds really good.
Yeah.
Would you have given up your snare drum to not have to do Mega Camp?
Who's playing it?
They're teaching kids with it.
Oh, no. Not, yeah, that's not going to happen. Conway and I, the dude that I built that with, we spent a good amount of money on that combined. And I just saw that GIF that you sent me. Like, where are you? I'm a little late. But we spent a good amount of money on that and a ton of time. And it's too valuable to me. Like, I put too much money into it and I put too much love into it.
To let a child ruin it.
To let a child just destroy it.
Drool on it.
Yeah.
Probably get their sticky fingers all over it.
Oh, dude. Our whole house is just a war zone right now. 3 kids in there. I walk into the kitchen today to heat up my coffee around lunchtime. The kids were eating their lunch.
You're one of those guys. You reheat your coffee?
Oh, yeah. Oh. I'll nurse the same cup all day. I'll just keep reheating it. Sorry. I know Zacho is like just cursing me out right now.
Yeah,
wait, no. I think he said the same thing, that he
reheats?
He reheats. Or he at least will drink it all day. I don't know if he reheats, but he'll drink the same cup of coffee all day. Or maybe I'm wrong. Zacho, email us in. Or tweet us. Or just come back on the podcast.
Yeah, that is totally an option too.
Yeah. But, yeah, I'll reheat it all day long. But I walked into the kitchen and literally everywhere on the floor are green beans. Just everywhere. Apparently, the youngest, who is like a little less than a year, I think, or a year and a half maybe. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Like, had just flipped her green bean bowl onto the floor. And Megan was like, yeah, I'm going to get it later.
That's how we get ants.
You got ant problems around here? Knock on wood. If you ever do lavender leaves, I think if you just sprinkle those around your kitchen, just like along the countertops, keeps them away.
Who knew?
My mom, apparently.
Go Tina.
Yeah. Way to go, Shayla. So how you been in the weeks that I haven't seen you?
Good. We had a good extra long weekend last week.
Mm-hmm. What'd you do last weekend that we weren't able to podcast?
What did we do? Well, the day of the 4th, my dad was here and we were working on my car.
Did you get it fixed finally?
We thought we did.
Oh.
Had it all put back together.
Yeah.
And so I had to buy a steering knuckle, which everything attaches to on your wheel. And there's a wheel hub inside that's got bearings or whatever. Anyway, I had to buy it used because that's the only place I could find it. Mm-hmm. So they ship it over and it looks great. Like, it's got the wheel hub assembly with it. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, sweet. So we put everything back together, test drove it. The bearings are bad in it. So we had to take everything back out. Like, it got to the point I had to actually replace an axle too.
Wow.
Because I couldn't get the axle nut off and I stripped it. And so the axle was stuck in the knuckle. So I just replaced everything, which long run, it'll be great. So anyway, it's getting new bearings pressed into it. Hopefully it's done. I haven't heard yet, but
that's at the shop. They're doing that at the shop.
They're pressing the bearings in and then I'll just put everything back together.
Gotcha.
But,
how much money at this point in repairs?
Actually I've saved a lot of money because I do it most of it myself.
Right.
And I found this website. I mean, I'm sure people have heard of it. It's Rock Auto. Mm-hmm. And they got really good deals on parts. Mm-hmm. And so I'm maybe with parts, maybe $150 in.
That's not bad at all.
No. So
You went to a shop, that would have been an arm and a leg
right.
in labor.
Yeah. And that's, I replaced a wheel, ball joint and stuff like that, which are always expensive. Anyway, so that's what I spent 4th doing. What did we do the 5th? I don't remember.
Didn't podcast with me. That's what you did.
I did not podcast with you. What did we do? Went to Ripley on Sunday.
For church?
Yeah.
How was that?
My family. It was good. It was kind of weird, like,
when was the last time you were back?
For Sunday morning?
Yeah.
So the year, it was 2014 is when I started leading.
Mm-hmm.
That September, I came back and led.
It's like
1
5
week.
years.
Yeah. Since on a Sunday morning, it's probably been about 5 years.
Man.
Um,
For those of you that don't know, Ripley is our old church that we
Yes.
used to go to.
It's where my family goes. And so, I mean, it was good, like, hearing my dad preach. Like, I haven't heard him preach in a long time. And so I really enjoyed that. It was just more so weird that, like, some people knew that I had left. Some people didn't. They're like, oh, you get a week off? I was like, yeah, something like that. Because, like...
Why go into it?
Right, exactly. Because chances are I probably won't see them for a while.
Right. And that's not a story that you want to tell multiple times because there's questions that come along with that
Exactly.
sort of story.
Exactly. And I'm sure probably most people think that I was like fired or something, but
Yeah.
I can't control that. Just because most people who leave a church position are,
Yeah.
like, most of the time. But
Yeah.
I wasn't asked to resign. They're still letting me work there, kind of. So yeah, but it was good hanging out with family Sunday afternoon. I for the life of me can't. Went over and saw Ethan Lacey one of the nights. I don't remember what night, which is my cousin and his wife.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Nice.
it was a nice full, but good weekend.
Good. And you didn't have to at any point be worrying about Sunday morning.
No, it was really nice.
And did you find yourself at all worrying about Monday morning?
Not necessarily worrying about it.
Mm-hmm.
I think at this point, it's more so like when, like, coming off of a weekend, since I'm so new at the job, like, I start not freaking out, but like being a little anxious, more so like, I don't remember how to do something or whatnot.
Right.
Which most of that is like, not like the fear's not real.
Right.
And so if anything, it's more so just that, like,
Yeah.
I don't dread Monday mornings.
Right.
Especially knowing that, like, I'm going to get up and I'll be home by 4:00.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
and then I'll have my whole evening.
And when you're home, you're home.
And I'm home. And so, yeah. When I was working at the church, like, my weekends, I was off Friday, but it was by myself. Like, my wife wasn't off.
Mm-hmm.
And most people still worked on Fridays. And so I'd have Friday night, which is great. But then Saturday, come about 3:00, I started thinking about Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, you get anxious about it.
There's a
Like,
lot of stuff that was on your plate on a Sunday.
Right. And, like,
A lot of stuff to think about.
yeah, making sure all these little things work together to come up with the big thing.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of little things that people probably wouldn't even know.
There was a big scandal about the TV in the lobby
A scandal.
being turned on. Not a scandal, but for like 2 weeks, nobody could figure out who was supposed to turn the TV on.
That wasn't even my job.
Really?
Yeah, I
Well,
never
you
did
left
that.
and it's not getting done. So
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
it's getting done now, though.
It's getting turned on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly have not. I've been surprised. I haven't really gotten texts
Yeah.
about much. A few things,
Mm-hmm.
mostly from people who I told, like, if you have a question, just text me,
Yeah.
which is fine. But yeah,
Nice. Very nice. On the 4th, Emily and I volunteered. There's like a big festival that happens in the town that our church is in. It's like a fair, pretty much. There's rides and stuff and food vendors and whatnot. And we volunteered the night of the 4th to go pick up trash there.
Did you?
Yeah. So
Good for you guys.
Yeah. So we picked up trash, and then just pulled the bags out of the bins and set them to the side. And then the fire department came through and picked them up, put new bags in. And I found $5 on the ground.
Did you keep it?
No, I actually tithed it, or I put it in with the communion at church this past Sunday.
Put it with the communion?
Yeah. Is that a bad thing?
With the communion?
No, I'm not. I'm sorry. With the tithe, with the offering. Not with the communion.
I was just like, how did you even do that?
Is this where this goes? Just right in. Dip.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I found it and I was like, oh, awesome, $5. And then immediately I was like, I can't be taking this money and keeping it.
I'm volunteering. So did you guys go to the fireworks then? Or did you come after?
No, we didn't. They were actually not that night. They were the 5th.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. And I forget what we did the 5th, but we were just like, we got home and we're like, yeah, we're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
We're staying right here. I could hear them when I left her house that evening, like that they were going on. I was like, it's not worth it.
I like fireworks and parades, unless like the fireworks are happening in conjunction with something else that I'm already going to.
Sure.
Like a baseball game.
Yeah, like a baseball game. You just stay a little later, you get a fireworks show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not going to seek out to go just to a firework, especially the Orville one.
Mm-hmm.
Traffic is awful.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Like when I first moved into Orville, I lived on the south side of town.
Mm-hmm.
The whole town is maybe 2 miles,
Mm-hmm.
like say from south to north.
It's not large.
Yeah. So I lived on the far south, right in town. I went to people were having like a fireworks gathering on the north side of town. It took me an hour and a half to get home.
Jeez.
Yes.
Holy
Sitting
cow.
in traffic.
You could have walked
Yeah.
the entire town like twice
Yep.
in an hour and a half.
So that was the last time I think I like actually went somewhere. Like I was in town when I lived in Orville. I lived up in an attic, so on the top part of the house, and so off my entryway was basically on the roof, which is kind of nice. It had a little landing, and so the last year I lived there, or my wife and I lived there, we sat out on that landing, and you could there was kind of a tree in the way, but you could still kind of see them.
Gotcha.
And we're like, if we're going to have to sit here and hear them, you might as well just sit out there and kind of see them.
I'm sure that was worth it.
Oh, yeah, because like it was just
some
us.
popcorn or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only way. I just don't like big crowds. I'm super old.
Yeah, I'm not a big crowd fan either.
Like baseball games are even pushing it at this point.
Yeah. Dude, the last time I went to a baseball game, I went with my dad, and it was like 95, but it felt like 105, 205, because we were right on the third baseline in direct sun.
No wind.
Literally almost the entire time. No wind. The seats are like hot. So when we sat down, you could just hear like a sizzle.
Your sweat is just like boiling
and
off you.
I made the mistake of wearing a gray shirt and like sitting down and giving me like the under boob sweat.
Yep.
So I stood up and was just like, well, I just got to own this on the way out. I tried to like squish it around just to make it look like a full front sweat. But it was just a boob sweat.
That's a bummer.
Yeah. But it made it kind of hard to enjoy the game.
I have this curse that any event that I go to doesn't have to be a sporting event. It could be a concert. I'm always seated next to the most obnoxious person, either like right behind me or right beside me.
There was nobody at the Need to Breathe concert. We went, oh, wait.
I sat between you and my wife, didn't I?
You did.
I'm just kidding. That actually was probably one of the better ones. But we went to a Akron Rubber Ducks game, which is one of the minor league teams around here. And we had
hockey, right?
No, baseball.
Oh, really? What were they before? They weren't the Rubber Ducks.
They were the Akron
Astros.
Arrows. Yeah.
I don't care.
Close. But it's like $10. I think it was 20 some bucks total for my wife and I. And then it was my brother, my dad, and then my sister and brother-in-law. So for us to go, 2 tickets, front row, like right behind the first base batter's box.
That's a pretty primo spot.
Yeah. Yeah. Great spot. Come sit behind us. These 2 guys from Hawaii, apparently.
Okay.
But the one was like in high school or college. And I don't know if the other one was his dad or somebody. Like he was younger, but like they talked like they were son and dad. Anyway, he plays college baseball.
Okay.
For
I see where this is going.
Yes. Yeah. So he knew everything.
Yeah.
And like, but he was like, dude, no, like he talked like this, you know, like, dude, no, you don't even know. This guy is an idiot. Constantly, every pitch, and he was wrong about most of it. Like, I don't know everything about baseball, but I played it a while, and like, it was just like the obvious things.
Yeah.
And so, I think it was the 3rd inning. My brother got up and went up and stood, and he texted me. He was like, I can't take it. He's like, I'm going to go stand up here.
Yeah.
I just cannot handle this guy behind us. And so then my wife and I we left, and we ended up, they have like a pavilion area out in left field. And so it's kind of covered, and it was hot that day. And so we just went up and stood out there, watched the game. There was some patio tables, like if you wanted to sit. Way better than sitting listening to.
I would rather be in a spot where I was a little bit uncomfortable because of heat or sun or something, rather than sit with a guy like that behind me.
Yeah.
That would just ruin it for me.
Yep. It's like, I don't know. People lack self-awareness.
Totally.
It's like,
it blows my mind how unself-aware people are.
Yeah.
Absolutely blows my mind. Your brother had just said something on Twitter. Basically, it was like a pot calling the kettle black situation.
Okay.
Like people that get angry at snowflakes being too easily offended, and yet if they hear anything that is not in line with their beliefs, they freak out.
Right.
And throw a big fit. Yeah. It's like you're doing the exact same thing. The issues are just different. That infuriates me more than anything else. Especially with that for some reason. I don't know why. I get too angry with that sort of stuff, like political stuff like that. Like, you're a horrible person, both sides. Just knock it off.
I still think that for the most part, things are better. Like, just thinking, especially in like family relationships, if you just keep your opinions to yourself.
Yeah.
Like, especially when they're unsolicited.
Yeah.
If I ask you directly, hey, what do you think about whatever political view?
Right.
Okay. Or if I get asked that, then I will share because they directly asked me and want to know. For me to like see something on TV and then go off on a tangent about whatever belief I have, why?
Yeah.
Like we were just chilling, having a good time, and now everything is awkward. And
it sucks too when it's an employer-employee situation. At the recording studio I used to work at, the owner of that really liked Fox News and just always had Fox News on. And we'd be like standing in the lounge at the bar just eating supper or whatever, watching Fox News, and he would say something and I'd be like, well, I can't disagree with you because I work for you.
Right. You are so correct.
I'll just sit here and nod and eat my sandwich.
Oh, man.
It's the worst.
So just be kind to your friends and...
Yeah. No need to fight.
No need to fight. And if they have different views, it's okay.
Yeah.
You don't have to win everybody to your view.
Yeah. Jeez Louise, guys.
Jeez Louise.
Calm down. Speaking of calming down, guess what I'm taking now? CBD gummy bears.
Gummy bears?
Yeah.
How is that?
I haven't noticed anything,
yeah.
But I haven't really been in a stressful situation. Okay. I got them in yesterday. I took one, didn't really notice anything, but I was just at home all day. And then I took 2 today, and again, at home, haven't really noticed anything, and now I'm here. 2 non-stressful situations. But I told Emily, and she was like, well, you're not in a stressful situation, so maybe just wait. It's like, yeah, that's probably a good idea.
But they're good.
Yeah.
Are they good? Do they taste okay?
They taste like, at first they taste good, like a gummy bear. But then there's just like an aftertaste that's just like a little bit sour / bitter.
Okay.
But it's all right. Kind of tastes like a multivitamin gummy bear, where it's like almost there flavor wise, and then just like a little bit after like the aftertaste just isn't quite right.
Right.
So, but found them online. There's no THC. It's non-psychoactive. It's literally just the CBD, which is the healthy part of marijuanas. And marijuana. And yeah, like I don't know if I would pass a drug test though.
That's what I always wondered.
Because, yeah.
We should get a home drug test.
Home drug test?
And see.
Drug test me?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. We'll see how much they are and we'll get one. Because I am curious.
Me too. Yeah.
Because like my dad doesn't sleep well because of his back pain. I think the CBD might help him because it's been proven to help with anxiety, which is the main reason I'm doing it. Also, like muscle pain, like when you have tight like muscles and get muscle spasms, it helps with that. Helps you sleep, helps you relax. The main thing, I'll probably buy this brand next time because I listened to a podcast that he kind of promotes it and you can get a discount code on it.
Oh, nice.
But Charlotte's Web is what it's called. And originally that company started because there was a little girl named Charlotte who was like 11 years old that was having like 200 seizures a day, like a certain kind of seizure, and literally no medication worked. And then these scientists extracted CBD from marijuana because they noted that it had helped with that in the past. So they took out this part, the part that makes you high, and basically just made it into a medicine and gave it to her, and her seizures completely stopped. So
Charlotte's Web. You can get it in like a vial drop thing that's like minty or chocolate. You can put it in your coffee or just like put some on your skin and lick it off, or just drop it right onto your tongue or in the gummies. Yeah. So you said you're going to try that next?
Probably, yeah. If this stuff doesn't really work, and because I can get it a little bit cheaper, at least the first time.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to do that because my doctor prescribed me Prozac the last time I went. And like there's a ton of possible side effects on Prozac. Plus you have to wean yourself off of it, which I'm not a fan of.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like some of the medicine now, the side effects are worse than the condition itself.
I want to have like my anxiety treated. One of the side effects for Prozac is anxiety. But he said any side effects you may experience should be gone in 2 weeks after starting the medication. But and if they aren't, then you should contact him.
Wean yourself off?
Yeah, I have to wean myself off. I have to deal with those side effects as I wean myself off of it.
Yeah, I would go the route you're going.
Yeah, because I don't know. There's definitely, I think, a stigma on CBD because it comes from marijuana. But it's just like anything else that we're extracting.
Right.
Like the ashwagandha root that your wife had told me about. I tried that. Didn't really work for me. But there's no stigma. Like if I say, I'm taking some ashwagandha root, you're like, oh, okay, cool.
It's a plant.
If I say I'm taking CBD, you're like, oh, so you're like getting blazed 420?
Stoned.
No. I took them right before I came here. I feel completely fine. I feel zero amount of high.
Yeah.
Because there's no THC. It's not psychoactive.
Yeah. That's what, yeah.
Do you know why marijuana was illegal? Is illegal? Was. It's still half illegal.
Didn't we talk about this?
Maybe. I think it was one of our founding fathers had ownership of tobacco farms, and the marijuana farms were competing. So he made a bill and made the marijuana illegal. Which I think tobacco kills more people than marijuana does.
Yeah, I would say easily.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Part of me is like, just legalize everything. Like all the drugs.
Even like the PCP and the heroin and stuff?
Just legalize it.
Really?
Yep.
And then we'll just cut out all those people? They'll all just overdose?
Well, I mean, there's that. But also then you can tax it. But I do see the flip side of then you drive up the market for untaxed illegal thing. And so I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is.
Yeah. It just, from a financial standpoint, it makes sense for the government to get involved, at least with marijuana, I think. You could make a ton of money off that. You made an absolute killing off that.
Yep. I mean, look at the taxes they have on tobacco.
Right.
So, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see where society is in 50 years.
It'll be interesting.
I'm interested to see it. I asked on the road trip, I asked Emily and Megan if you could travel back 100 years or travel forward 100 years. You get to come back. You just go to visit. Which one would you do and why?
So 100 years would be 1919.
Or
going up on Great Depression.
Right. But at that point, it was still booming. Like, what was that called? Like the 19th.
Is that the Industrial Revolution?
I think.
Or was that before that?
I think that was before that. I think there was something like in the early 20s.
Roaring 20s?
Roaring 20s, yeah. Where everything was just like, everybody's making money.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like, if you go back, do you have the knowledge that you have at this current moment?
You're just time traveling.
Then I would probably go back.
You wouldn't want to see what's in the future?
No.
Why not?
I don't know. Like,
you're more just like, you'd rather be surprised.
Yeah.
It's going to happen either way.
Yeah. Like, I don't really want to know much about my future.
Okay. Well, it wouldn't be your future because you'd be dead 100 years from now.
The future.
Okay.
Because then you could also find out how you died, I would assume.
If you wanted to.
Yeah.
But
anyway,
really seek that out.
I would want to go back.
Okay.
Mainly, like, I know there was a lot of bad things in that time, like racism, and you were coming up on, well, actually, at that point, you were done with one world war, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway.
Coming up on the second, though.
But with the knowledge that I have now, how many things I could invent and how much money.
Well, you're coming right back. You're only there for like a day.
Does what you do in the past change your present?
Sure, I guess. Butterfly effect?
Yeah. Then I'm...
What are you doing, though?
Like, what am I inventing?
Yeah. There's a comedian that has a stand-up act about this, Nate Bargatze, I think. I'm butchering the last name, but he was like, if I time traveled back to the past, to like the early 1900s, I'd be worse off than I am now. I'd be like, hey, I'm from the future, and we have these things called smartphones. What's a phone? Well, I don't really know. You just kind of talk into it, and people around the world hear you. And then they'd be like, okay, how do you make it? Gosh, I have no clue.
So I have to come up with, or I'd have to have, or at least know how it would be made.
Yeah. What do you think right now? You're back in early 1900s. What can you do that contributes?
When did they start making sliced bread? Serious question.
I think before that.
Was it?
I think so. Or maybe not. I don't know. Apparently, though, that was a huge...
Hey, Siri. When was sliced bread invented?
The answer is July 7th, 1928.
Oh.
I would be coming right in. I'd be like, hey, you see this bread that you're selling?
Slice it. Put it in a plastic bag. Twist it off. Put this annoying little plastic thing on there to keep it closed.
Yeah.
Boom, you're making money.
Or would you try to do, like, for instance, if you think of like all the plastic material that we're now having trouble with, would you try to push like recycling, like, you know what I'm saying?
I think that I don't have any of the knowledge to do it, but I would push for like an anti-plastic movement, a plastic alternative movement. Because I know that like plastics were a huge advancement for the human race, but now look at it.
Right.
It's a massive problem. And they're coming up with alternative solutions to plastics that are a little bit more expensive, but overall they're better for the environment. So I think that I would have pushed for that. Like tried to fight the plastics and tried to encourage like plastic alternatives. I don't know how I would have done that, but I think if we could have just nipped that in the bud, Because it seems like once we get used to something and accustomed to something, majority of us are just like, no, we can't live without this.
Right.
Carbon, like my car, my big Hummer, I need that thing to get to work.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
So,
that's fair.
Yeah. So I think that all of that stuff, we just, if we had to go back, or if we could go back, we would have to nip all that stuff in the bud.
Yeah.
Because it's just, we're just spinning wheels right now, trying to fix all of these problems that we've created for ourselves.
Yeah.
So.
Good question.
Yeah.
I would find someone, I would try to connect with someone who was like the do it guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I could be the idea man.
Right.
Because then I'd be like,
oh, dude.
So I want to create this filing system that everyone in the world could access.
You're talking the internet?
The internet.
Okay.
Yes. Because you'd have to frame it in a way that they would kind of understand.
You're talking this in 1919?
1919.
Oh, boy. Okay. So electricity, kind of sparse.
Yeah.
At least on the outskirts of cities.
Right. So, or you think like car advancements, like fuel injection.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It'd be cool.
Yeah. I think that's where I would do well as well. Like the idea, man. I'm just in life, I find myself being more of the background guy that like helps the operation run. I'm not the foreground person that you see.
Right.
And I feel like I thrive really well there in that environment. So if you could put me behind like a Nikola Tesla or, I don't know, a J. Edgar Hoover type, I could provide support in various ways.
Fair.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to the future, though.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I'm just so curious as to see where we're going to be.
What if you went to the future?
And there was no future?
There was no future.
Well, I think...
Are you stuck?
In my head, I can still get back. The time machine lets me get back.
So where do you end up?
Just in nothingness.
So you...
Well, don't think about it too hard, because it's a time machine, so the logistics are kind of off across the board.
Fair.
But in my version of this time machine, if there's nothing, then I'll just hit the button and go back. Just keep going back like a year till I hit society.
Okay.
Or hit existence, I guess. But I'm just way too curious to see where things are going to be in 100 years from now. Because you look at the Industrial Revolution, and then once internet came on the scene, just how much technology and advancement has spiked. Like, you can see like a 2,000-year graph of like, boop, 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 and there's little bumps, you know, in advancement. And then like early 1900s, just choom, from there on, choom.
Steam powered.
Electricity. So who knows where we'll be? I'm hoping to be on Mars. Back to that again.
Just hop out and you're on Mars.
Yeah.
Or some undiscovered planet.
Oh, that'd be even better, dude.
That was like Earth.
Yeah. Which they found a few. The coolest one to me, it's way larger than Earth. And it doesn't, like, it orbits around a sun, but it does not spin. So there's one side that is always facing the sun, one side that's not. And the side that's facing the sun is like super hot, like 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit. The side that is not facing the sun is super cold, like negative 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit. But there's a little strip in the middle where it's the same temperature as Earth on its equator all the way around. Or I guess, is it the equator if it's vertical?
No, equator would be
horizontal. So whatever that would be. It's vertical equator, like in between the hot and the cold zones.
Which I guess it would be because the equator doesn't move. Like it doesn't matter how you spin it.
Right.
As opposed to vertical, like it would move away from the sun. So.
But this planet is not spinning.
Right. So it would kind of, I guess, be their equator.
Yeah. But I think that's pretty cool. You just live in a little strip and you get farther and farther out and it gets hotter, or
You
go the
could
other way,
be-
it's colder.
You wouldn't really experience seasons, I guess.
No,
So you could just literally pick, like, I want this temperature basically all the time.
all the time.
And I live there.
Yeah.
That would be kind of nice.
And you can pick like exactly what temperature because it gets hotter and colder the more east or west you go.
I wonder what, like, animals and humans, like, because, like, we have to deal with both cold and hot.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's how, like, you know, we designed or evolved, however you want to look at it. I wonder how different that would be in a situation like that.
Where it's just all the same.
Yeah. Which I guess we could just go to the equator.
Yeah. But I don't know, because I feel like there's been too much migration of civilizations, like within the past years.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think that like 200,000 years or 100,000 years or however long civilization has been moving, like tribes and stuff moving around. I don't think that that's enough time to thoroughly adjust, you know, to like get like a median of things.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm not a scientist and I have no authority to be speaking on that. But I think that you would need at least 500,000 years of a society living in the same conditions before, and with no outside influence.
Right.
Before that just like evens out and it becomes whatever it becomes.
Mm-hmm.
But do you think we would all start to look the same living in a place like that where the climate is exactly the same all the time?
I don't know. Probably.
Speaking of this, I took my 23andMe test, and it finally, I think,
Did it come
went
back?
through.
Oh,
I haven't got it back yet,
That's
but
right,
they
you-
accepted it this time. I did something wrong, too.
okay.
You spit into the tube, and then there's like a little hatch on top of it that you're supposed to close, and a solution goes down into it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do that the first time.
Okay.
I'm not one to read instructions.
You're like, I'm just going to spit in this.
Yeah, it was like you gave me this 10-page instruction book. What is there to know? I spit into this tube, and then I put the cap on.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. I'm not an idiot. Apparently, I was an idiot. Should have read the instructions.
How long did they say it's supposed to take?
A couple weeks, I think. So, I don't know. I'm very excited, though.
Yeah, it'll
To
be
see.
interesting.
Yeah. I didn't think that I would care about, like, that sort of stuff. But, because, like, I know that I'm from Italy, but I know I'm probably more so from Ireland than anything else. So, I don't know. I guess we'll see. Maybe a surprise one in there, like Egyptian or something. I think Egyptian would be cool.
Mine was, what was the surprise one on mine?
Norwegian,
Yes. Yep.
because we were talking about Vikings, how you're a Viking.
Yeah, that's right. That was a surprise. I was always told I was German, and I am.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I was told I was German and had some Native American. No Native American.
Oh, have you been pulling that card, though?
No, I did not.
It's a
luckily.
good thing.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. That's what my grandma had always said, but
Huh.
she kind of said a lot of stuff. So, in the last little bit of this podcast, touch on now 2 weeks ago podcast. We've actually gotten some good feedback.
We've gotten a ton of good feedback. Also, really quick before we get into that, my nephew, who is 5.5, almost 6, said, "Are you going to Pudge's house?" I was like, "Yeah, I am." He was like, "Why would somebody name their own child Pudge?" And I'm
Great
like,
question.
Well, they didn't. It's just a nickname. But then also, apparently, I had walked out and he had said to my sister, "Donnie's going to Fudge's house." So now you are Fudge.
I'll take it.
But yeah, go ahead. Let's dive into that.
No, I what was the feedback you got?
All positive. All really, really positive stuff. We talked about pornography and I think kind of focused in on pornography in a church environment and how that is handled and received and talked about and educated on, which all of those things very poorly.
Yeah.
But got really, really good feedback. Even from a friend of ours who is in ministry, said that he had struggled with that in the past, and a lot of things that we had said, unfortunately, rang true.
Right.
Also, Zacho, it was a video. There's nothing in the text, I think. But Zacho reached out to me as well and said that that was a really solid episode and that he really enjoyed the conversation. Then he sent me a link to a TED Talk. And the TED Talk was a pastor who had struggled with pornography like for a very long time through multiple ministries. And like a handful of churches he had gone to, they had found out, and they kicked him out. Until one church found out, because he actually told them he started going to a therapist. I'm going to circle back to that therapy remark in a second. But had gone to a therapist, and the therapist was like, well, you need to tell your church about this. If you really want to like make a change and make progress, you have to tell your church about this. And the church was like, well, you can't be a pastor here right now, at least. We're not firing you, but we're going to, so you can still keep a job. We're not going to fire you, but we're going to offer you a janitorial position. And he took it and did that for a year while he was like in recovery. So first of all, major props to that guy.
Yeah.
To go from preaching to a congregation to being the congregation's janitor. And I can't even imagine all the questions and the judgment within the church. But
sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, but if that's the culture that the leadership has set, like, then you're still going to have that somewhat. But like, in my opinion, it's all about how the leadership has set the culture.
Sure. Yeah.
That, hey, this guy has a struggle like you probably do. And, you know, his position, given his position, like he can't do that position right now, but we're not going to kick him out over it. Otherwise, we have to kick everybody out.
Right.
You know?
Right.
But that's the culture that most churches don't have.
Right.
Sorry, go ahead.
And I think that was, for him, a great church for him to go through that go through that recovery. A church that doesn't just immediately ostracize him, but says, hey, let's help you. Let's break you down. Let's build you back up, you know? But to circle back to the therapy thing, he's decided to go to therapy for it, figuring out like, why am I doing this? And the therapist said that most people look at the problem, at the pornography, but we're going to look beyond that. We're going to look deeper than that. What is the issue that is causing you to be attracted to that and not be able to break away from that? And he said a lot of guys and women that struggle with pornography, the main issue and reason is rejection in their life. There's some rejection in the past or ongoing that causes them to go to that because it's a comfort and it's validation. I guess it's self-validation.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But super fantastic TED Talk. I'll send you the link because it was really good. It's only like 9 minutes long.
Okay.
But Zacho sent us that. He was a guest on the podcast, and thank you, Zacho, for that.
Shout out to Zacho.
Yeah. But I thought some really good points were made in that. And I forget some of the other points he made, but that was the one that really stuck out to me, was that the root of that can be rejection or is rejection for a lot of people.
Do you remember the name of the guy so our listeners could look it up?
I can look it up real quick if you want to talk and have any points that you want to make on that while I look this up. Or just any side points or further points on the
I don't know that I have any further points, but
Sure.
I'm just going to start talking here. It's interesting, like, given all the other stuff we've ever talked about, that this was probably the most feedback, at least that I've heard.
Same.
On this.
And sorry,
Okay.
I interrupted.
You told me to talk, I'm talking.
Yeah, right. The most positive feedback as well.
Yeah.
I was really expecting to either not get oops.
About trust. It's about trusting.
Sorry, I was looking up this. It's Jason Mahr.
Probably, I'd say Mar,
Yeah.
probably.
If you want to look up it, if you want to look it up on YouTube, pornography isn't your problem. Jason Mahr.
Jason Mar.
MAHR. TEDx Cincinnati. Yeah. But yeah, I was surprised as well with the amount of feedback we got and also the positivity of the feedback. Saying, hey, like, thank you for talking about this because I'm in agreement. It's not being handled well by the church.
Right.
So that was something that greatly surprised me about that. Anything else from your end?
No.
Yeah. I guess just being to the listeners, thank you for being so supportive of that.
Yeah.
And willing to hear that.
Yeah.
I originally wasn't going to send that episode into Back Row, being that it's a little bit more PG, but maybe I will. We'll see what he thinks about it.
Yeah. A little more PG.
PG-13. Sorry.
Try to keep it G here.
Not to get completely off track, but speaking of G and PG, that made me think of Toy Story. I just watched Toy Story 4.
Yeah.
And I know you just saw it. What were your thoughts on it?
So I'll back up real quick.
Sure.
Over the last week, we've also watched Toy Story 1 and Toy Story 2.
I saw that you had Toy Story 2 on DVD out there.
Yeah.
Nice.
We have Toy Story 3 in the hopper. But it was good. Don't get me wrong. Part of me felt like they just kind of made a movie to wrap it up a little bit, maybe, which I didn't really feel like they needed to.
Yeah.
Kind of felt like a little bit of a cash grab. It wasn't bad by any means.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just was like, it didn't draw me in like when I was watching 1 and 2. Now, granted, Toy Story 1 was such a revolutionary thing in and of itself.
Right. And I think for you and I, because we're around the same age, that was like a pivotal point in our lives. Like we were young enough to like where we were watching movies over and over and over again.
Right.
So that really got ingrained in us, those first couple movies.
Yeah. I was telling Allie, I think my list of favorites is probably 2, 1, 3, 4.
Really? I don't remember 2 enough to really
Zurg.
categorize. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
2 is good. I haven't seen it as much as 1, but I really loved Zurg. I had a Zurg action figure.
Me too. You could look through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool thing.
So what did you think about 4?
I liked it. I thought there were some really funny moments in it. I felt like the plot was a little bit weak. I would have liked to, like, I felt like they had already developed the characters to the point of development, like Woody and Buzz. So there was less, like, inner character, like, growth. Like, where two characters, like, learn from each other and grow, except for maybe Forky.
Right.
Because he was a new character. But
He was learning how to be.
do you say how to be?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Trash.
But yeah, I think that's one thing that I really like about like the very first one is you see like Buzz Lightyear discovering who he is and how he fits in, like discovering that he's not who he thought he was, and then like being broken down and then rebuilding up who he is actually and who he was meant to be. And you see like Woody become or being the leader and doing his thing, and you really see a lot of that throughout the first movie.
And really in the second, it's almost flip-flopped.
Right.
Where Woody finds out he's more than what he thought he was. And then it's Buzz then playing the Woody part of Toy Story 1.
Right. But I just feel like in the fourth, there was less of that.
Yeah.
There was less like more in-depth plot like that and character development like that. Also, this is a kid's movie, so maybe
We're overthinking
we're
it.
overthinking it. But I don't know. It
But
just,
I will say, though, after watching 1 and 2, they hold up as an adult.
yeah.
So,
Which, I mean, the fourth one, I really enjoyed as a 24-year-old man.
yeah.
I really enjoyed watching the fourth one. There was a lot of humor in there that made me laugh. Specifically the "Yes, we Canada." That for some reason really got me. That pun. Also, that character. What was his name?
Duke something?
Duke.
I want to say Duke Silver. That's obviously
I know
not it.
that's what I go to as well. I want to say Duke Stuntman, but that's not it.
It's Keanu Reeves.
I know. That's why I loved it so much, because it was Keanu Reeves. But I feel like they really ended it, like a series of 4. I think they ended it very, very well with the separation of Woody and Buzz, right? And the what was the line? Like the main line from this series,
To Infinity and Beyond.
To Infinity and Beyond, and how like they both said it separately.
Hopefully you've seen the movie by now.
We're spoiling the whole thing, but they end it really, really well. And I don't think that they should make another one at this point, but I feel like there's going to be some sort of spinoff where they do. Also, another point I wanted to make was something I really liked about the first couple, were there was a large cast of characters as well. Mr. Potato Head, the slinky guy, Ham, yeah, all those characters. The RC car,
Rex.
Rex
Is one of my favorite.
I love Rex. Yeah. I think Rex is me. Just his anxieties, freaking out about stuff. But you saw, I think the characters and all those different toys are what really made those first movies for me. Beyond like all the stuff I said before about like the character development and stuff, that just group of characters really sold me on those first couple of movies. And I feel like it was just more Woody, Buzz, Forky focused.
Right.
So you got less characters. Like we only saw RC for the first like minute of the movie when they rescued him. Yeah, they rescued him out of the storm drain, but that's the only part that he had.
Yep.
He was he didn't say anything, but I really liked him in the first couple.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I felt like stuff was sacrificed, but at the same time, it would have been way too hard to involve all of that.
I think part of my problem is because I was such a Toy Story kid. I love Toy Story. When 3 came out, like I remember in the movie theater tearing up, like at that scene where they're about to go into the furnace and whatnot, and like, and the way it ended in my head, like emotionally, I had wrapped it up,
right,
and like I was good. And then they did this 4th one, and it's like,
I didn't really need this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched it for sure, but like that's.
I also did cry at it, but
and 4?
Yeah.
Did you really?
Yeah.
At the end.
At the end, and also when that little girl is lost, and the doll, finally finds her person and fulfills her purpose, and she gets found.
Yeah.
Made me cry. I cry easy though.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, I would agree with that. I saw a video too on Twitter one time. This dude had edited like right when they're about in the 3rd one, when they're about to go into that furnace thing, like right when they're about to go in, somebody had edited the rest of the movie out and just put the end credits right there. And he did it with his family. So they were watching it, and then it just into the furnace. You got a friend. And everybody was like, what? Is this the end?
Oh, that's awesome. That's so awesome.
Yeah. So Toy Story 4, a little bit of a disappointment, but I think overall still a very enjoyable movie. I saw it with my fiance. We had a great time. We enjoyed it.
Like at some point, I'll probably buy all 4.
Sure.
For our kids. And
are you a DVD guy?
Okay, this is a whole nother thing.
Sure, let's do it.
That my wife and I actually just started talking about. So I don't know if you saw NBC's coming up with their own streaming service.
I want to talk about this too. I tweeted about it.
Yeah.
You didn't like it, my tweet, by the way. So
I don't think I saw it.
No longer friends.
So NBC has one. Warner Brothers is coming out with one. Disney has one.
HBO has like 6 of them.
Yeah. So The Office is leaving Netflix. Parks and Rec. Friends. I was telling her, I'm not paying for a bunch of streaming services.
Yeah.
So I think what we're going to start doing is over the next year, just start building into our budget to buy the things that we watch on Netflix. So like the entire series of The Office, Friends, New Girl, whatever.
The problem is I don't think that you can get Stranger Things on DVD. Like some of those like platform specific shows like Game of Thrones, Stranger Things.
I think for that,
Handmaid's Tale.
To be honest, Stranger Things should probably Stranger Things and Lost in Space are really the only Netflix things that like I am gung ho about. And so probably what we'll do is just the months that they come out, just pay for Netflix for the month, watch it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Sure.
probably cheaper than if you would buy the series, you know, the season anyway, if you could. So that's probably what we'll do. I don't know.
It is interesting that you bring this up now because I tweeted this literally last night before I went to bed because I had saw on Twitter that Warner Brothers is now coming out with their own thing. I said, how about just one streaming service that has all the shows? A flooded market benefits no one. Also, I don't have $10,000 a month to spend on subscriptions.
Seriously. Like, I think they're just going to kill themselves.
Right. How do you expect everyone, not literally everyone, but how do you expect everyone to have Hulu, Netflix, HBO Go, Warner Brothers, Paramount,
Disney.
all these different things, Disney XD, all of these different things that are like $12 a month.
Right.
Nobody can afford all that.
No.
And no one's going to see your show.
Exactly.
And if you put your show on just like, let's say everybody went to Netflix. If you put your show on Netflix, everybody's going to see it because everybody has Netflix. If you put it on your own stupid little thing, your new Warner Brothers thing, no one's going to see it.
Right.
Sure. I'm sure maybe 1.5 million, maybe 2 million people will get that Warner Brothers thing compared to however many million are on or billion are on Netflix.
Yeah. Honestly, I think they would be smarter if they want to do this thing where they're all going to do their own thing. To, if I was NBC, for instance, I'd bring my shows back. So I have them all under one roof, but it's a free service that you have to watch ads.
Sure.
You make a ton of money on ads.
Yeah.
Because then you let The Office just give you passive income.
Yeah.
Like, I would sit through ads if I didn't have to. It'd just be like watching TV.
Yeah. Yeah. Hulu on my girlfriend's Hulu, or ex-girlfriend, fiance's Hulu. I've been calling her my ex-girlfriend because she's my ex-girlfriend. She's my fiance now.
I tried that with Allie. She did not like that.
Emily doesn't like it either. I still do it though. But I use my fiance's Hulu and we watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine together on her Hulu, but she doesn't have the premium. She's still paying and still has ads.
That's what we do.
But doesn't have the premium, so there are ads. And we just sit through the ads. Actually, I put an ad blocker on her computer. So it's just like, oh, you just watch this thing go down for 50 seconds.
And just
you
quiet.
Yeah. Like we'll talk about like what's happening or just talk about something random. And it's kind of nice having those little breaks in the show, you know, have a little smooch and get back into the show.
The smushing?
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Not yet.
That's right. Not yet. Yeah.
Anywho. Yeah, I kind of hope that they kill themselves.
Yeah. I hope they kill themselves and Netflix survives and everybody just has to, like all of those big companies just have to accept that it's not worth it to have our own thing. And we might as well just all collectively join this one that benefits everybody.
Yep.
Because I was thinking about, at one point I had Prime, Amazon Prime. I had Spotify, and I guess I've never had Netflix. I've used Jeremiah's Netflix.
Do you still?
Yeah. Thanks, Jeremiah. I've been using it for, I think, literally 6 years.
Gosh.
Don't come at me, Netflix. But he probably has forgotten at this point.
Do you have your own profile?
I do, actually, yeah. I have Coach Steve from Big Mouth as my avatar. By the way, Big Mouth is a hilarious show that you should watch if you haven't watched it. But, yeah, so those two things. Oh, and Audible. Audible was like $14 a month, which at the time it was worth it because I was working thirds and just sitting at a solid day. So audiobooks saved me. But between Audible, Amazon Prime, and Spotify Premium, that's like nearly $60 a month for subscription stuff.
Yeah.
So if I had Netflix on top of that plus HBO Go so I could watch Game of Thrones and this new Warner Brothers thing so I can still watch The Office and Friends, the Paramount Network, which I wouldn't mind subscribing to Paramount because there's a show called Yellowstone on there with, what's his face? Kevin Costner, that I think looks really good, but I'm not going to get it just to watch that show.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Well,
not everybody's made of money, guys.
no, we're poor.
Yeah.
With that,
Yeah.
let's wrap it out.
And I'm upset now a little bit.
Sorry.
Nah, it's all right. I mean, I think long run, it's fine. I don't need to have any more shows in my life. I
Yeah.
got Stranger Things right now that I'm watching with my ex-girlfriend. And I have Brooklyn Nine-Nine that I'm watching with my ex-girlfriend. Those are really the only two shows that I watch. I watch Seinfeld during lunch when I take my lunches. Like, I watch an episode of Seinfeld back to work. But I don't need anything else.
Yeah.
Go outside. Spend time with your family. Shut off that TV. Go be with your wife, with your kids, with your husband. Yeah, I'm holding the remote and pointing at people at the same time with my thumb.
You were doing the Obama.
Oh, I
speech
forgot
thumb.
about that. Yeah.
Talks like this.
Yeah. You got your thumb like you're pinching somebody, and then you just kind of...
Is that how you pinch people?
Have you ever pinched anybody like this?
It hurts, yeah.
Yeah, that's the more
Like
effective
that.
way to pinch. Oh, I hate that.
Yeah.
When you...
Get like the back of the arm fat.
No
like
one
that.
can see this.
Yeah, I know.
When you grab a piece of skin, like a big old hunk of skin, with your middle finger and your index finger, the first knuckle of those two, grab a big hunk, and then take your other hand, your pointer finger of your other hand, and the first knuckle of that, you punch it. That's the worst. I had a pretty ruthless middle school experience. Dead legs, dead arms, and just punching.
We were into kicking each other in the balls, so.
Yeah, we in band, the mallets for the cymbal are kind of bendy, and they have like a hard, like fabric thing on the end. So you just, ugh.
Anyway.
I'll be surprised if I can have kids.
Yeah. It's super sad. Let's end this.
Sure. Another long one where it's 67.
Yep.
You installed this massive TV screen as our monitor, and it's really great.
It kind of blocks the sun,
Yeah, that's
which
kind
is
of
nice.
too. Yeah.
But then, yeah, we can also see.
This is like what I use to work on,
Oh, nice.
to edit on.
Nice.
You can really see the details.
That's right.
Again, stuff people can't see.
No.
Who's kazoo in the outro this time?
I don't remember.
Do you want a kazoo?
I can kazoo.
You seem to enjoy the kazooing the outro.
I do.
Okay. Well, that's been another episode of the You're My Friend and I Trust You podcast. We hope you've enjoyed it. Try to listen to what he's playing. What song is that? Just going? Awesome. I love it. If you want to, write us on Twitter. You can add us on Twitter at My Friend Podcast. Tweet at us. We'll tweet you back. We'll have a very public argument about whatever you want to have. Or it doesn't have to be an argument. It can just be throwing back and forth compliments. Maybe we'll throw back and forth some yo mama jokes. Because why not? Unless, I don't know if that's okay to do anymore, yo mama jokes. Who knows in today's culture? If I'm wrong, call me out, and I don't really make those jokes very often, but if it's wrong, I'll quit entirely. Okay, you happy? All right. I don't want to offend anybody. You can write us in at our email at itrustyoupodcast@gmail.com. Send us in some love. Send us in some hate. Send us in some questions. Send us in your dates. Didn't work. Tried to rhyme. Oh well, gonna move past it. Special shout out to Zacho for sending me that TED Talk. That was super great. Love you, buddy. Hopefully talk to you soon. See you on the podcast hopefully soon. Thank you so much for listening. We love you. And you are my friend. And I trust you. Oh, you spit all over yourself. Disgusting.
Just two dudes having a conversation. You're my friend and I trust you.